Today on Public Eye News, rising anger in Chicago following the fatal police shooting of a 13-year-old boy and a shooting at FedEx warehouse in Indiana.
Later, Ross Ray will have your weather and Devontae Stein will have your sports update. Hi, I'm Mitchell Reif.
And I'm Marin Parks, and this is Public Eye News. From Northern Michigan University, Jacob Lippert took second place in individual scoring at the Premier Collegiate Level National Quiz Bowl event, the Intercollegiate Championship Tournament. Christy Evans of Northern Today reports that Lippert's second place standing was out of the 128 people participating in this year's competition. Lippert averaged 66 points per game throughout the tournament, which Northern's Quiz Bowl advisor Michael Joy equates to an athlete scoring 33 points per game. Lippert also currently has scored more than 10,000 points in his Quiz Bowl career, making him one of the highest scoring players in NMU history. Overall, Northern Michigan University's Quiz Bowl team came in 15th place out of 31 teams, beating out teams from Amherst, Tufts, and even Harvard, among many more. And yesterday, students, faculty, union workers, and staff alike rallied outside of Northern Michigan University Administration Building to protest the April 6th decision made by the administration to postpone faculty pay discussions. WLUC-TV 6 reports that the NMU American Association of University Professors Faculty Union is pushing for faculty pay to be unfrozen before the end of the current academic semester. Last year, NMU faculty and staff took on both a pay cut and a pay freeze, and no action has since been taken by administration to unfreeze the pay and allow for faculty to receive pay increases once again, forcing many faculty members to stretch their budgets significantly more than they had needed to before the cut. And good news for coffee fans in Marquette this month, as the third annual Coffee Crawl is coming up just around the corner. The Coffee Crawl allows for participating persons to safely move from coffee shop to coffee shop around Marquette to sample all the different kinds of coffee, following all COVID-19 guidelines, of course. This year, the Coffee Crawl will be taking place on Saturday, April 24th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. in 3 two-hour sections. The early bird session will run from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., the midday buzz will take place from 10 a.m. to noon, and the afternoon delight session will run from noon to 2 p.m. Tickets for this year's Coffee Crawl will be available on the NMU Ticket website or the NMU Hub.
In recent news, local Detroit schools have extended their close on in-person class sessions. The district has decided to continue the suspension into May due to the surge of infections in southeastern Michigan. Superintendent Nikolai Vitti believes that in-person classes could very well be suspended for the rest of the year. On May 20th last year, around 11,000 mid-Michigan residents were forced to evacuate due to a flood. Dam owner Boyce Hydropower LLC was later fined $50 million for a number of safety violations that resulted in the flood. The company was responsible for providing a detailed plan on how to fix the issues. However, officials say the report was never given to the state. The Islamic month of Ramadan is coming up, and Arab American social services group called Access is holding a vaccine clinic in Dearborn. During this special month of Ramadan, participating Muslims will fast from sunrise to sunset. The officials from Islamic Center of American also stated that there is no issue in vaccinations during any of the fasting hours. Dearborn City Council also approved a pop-up food stand, and gatherings are predicted to not be as large due to the social distancing. The city of Dearborn alone has 11,400 confirmed COVID-19 cases as of Thursday, which is why they have been working so closely with Access. After this break, we will be back with your national and international news.
Centuries after the first Europeans landed on this continent, tribal people continue to adapt, change, and survive. These are the people's stories of reclaiming the old ways for health today. This is Growing Native.
Saturday night at 8.
And welcome back. One of the most devastating mass shootings in United States history is seeing major updates and a possible closure of the case in the near future, as police have identified the shooter that took the lives of 8 Indianapolis FedEx workers. The suspect was identified as Brandon Scott Hull, a 19-year-old man from Indiana. Though the gunman has now been successfully identified, police are still searching for a definitive motive behind the devastating shooting and are so far coming up mostly empty. The primary suspected reasoning for the shooting was that it was a racially motivated hate crime, as many workers at the Indianapolis FedEx that were shot were members of the Sikh community.
On Friday last week, Russia responded to America's barrage of new sanctions by saying it would expel 10 U.S. diplomats and take another retaliatory moves. Russia will also be denying the U.S. Embassy the ability to hire other personnel, limiting visits by U.S. diplomats and tightening travel restrictions within the country. On Thursday, the Biden administration announced its own sanctions on Russia. The U.S., following this, expelled 10 Russian diplomats, targeting companies involved, and built new barriers on Russia's ability to borrow money. Yesterday in Pakistan, after anti-France violence started up in the French embassy, advised its nationals to temporarily leave the country. On Monday, Saad Raziv was arrested for threatening the government. Raziv's group has been known to oppose any government change due to the harsh laws that if anyone is accused of insulting an Islam or Islamic people, the sentence will be death. Protesters in the capital situation rose to the police, having to launch a nationwide crackdown, killing 2 policemen, wounding 580 others, and 3 demonstrators. There's a rising anger in Chicago following the fatal police shooting of a 13-year-old boy. Video of March 29th incident was released Thursday, sparking overnight protests and renewing calls to reform the police. CBS's Adriana Diaz reports from Chicago.
Protesters demanding justice took to the streets in Chicago after the release of a video showing a police officer's deadly encounter with a teenager. A body camera recorded what happened as Officer Eric Stillman responded to reports of gunshots on March 29th. A chase ensued as soon as he got on the scene, and 19 seconds after exiting his car,
"Stop right now! Hands! Show me your hands! Stop it! Stop it!"
He fired a single shot that struck 13-year-old Adam Toledo in the chest. The boy died at the scene.
Stay with us, buddy. Stay with us.
A wider angle of the incident appears to show Toledo put his hand on one side of the wooden fence before turning. The police released this blown-up image they say shows Toledo with a gun. In body camera footage, a gun is seen on the ground. But in a freeze frame when Toledo was shot, both hands appear to be empty. Toledo's family attorney, Adina Weiss-Ortiz, told us the boy was obeying orders when he was killed.
That child was given a directive, he complied, he surrendered, he turned to the officer with his hands up, and then he was shot.
What do you make of the freeze frame that the police has released where they say this is a gun in Adam's right hand?
I see a blurry image of something, but I can't tell you what is in his hand. They can't tell you what's in his hand. And if I can't see it in the real-time video, which the officer was looking at him in real time, how could everybody say that he had a gun in his hand?
John Catanzara, the president of the Chicago Police Union, believes Officer Stillman's actions were justified.
We do not have to wait to be shot to respond. The officer had every reason to believe that that offender was turning and pointing the gun at him.
Catanzara says Stillman had less than a second to decide if he was dealing with an armed suspect. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Chicago.
And the race to vaccinate every adult American continues, with more than 3 million doses being delivered each day. But while only about half of American adults have a single vaccine so far, there is news that Americans may need another shot within the year of being fully vaccinated. Natalie Brandt has more details from the White House.
Americans may need another COVID vaccine shot within a year of being fully vaccinated.
With many vaccines, we understand that at a certain point in time, we need to boost, whether that's 9 months, 12 months, and we are preparing for that, Congressman.
Biden administration officials say they are in discussions to secure more vaccine doses if booster shots are needed, and they say COVID variants may make them necessary.
Ongoing already, clinical trials looking at a boost of the original wild type virus vaccine, as well as a boost with a variant specific.
The Biden administration announced this morning it's spending around $1.7 billion in scientific research so the CDC and states can detect and track coronavirus variants.
Right now, these variants account for nearly half of all COVID-19 cases in the United States. And we need more capacity in our public health system to identify and track these mutations.
With the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on pause, the CDC's advisory committee announced it will meet 1 week from today to reconsider recommending its use.
I mean, I think they need to make a decision quickly.
Dr. Anthony Fauci said his concern is that the longer it takes to make a decision, the more likely some Americans could decide against getting any vaccine shot at all. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And stay right here because after this break, we will be back with your weather and your sports update. Stay tuned.
Coral reefs, beautiful and vulnerable.
It was like a graveyard.
But can science make them stronger?
Can we help them? Can we accelerate natural selection?
We are growing corals to be more resilient.
More climate ready, more climate tolerant.
We can make choices to help our coral reefs to bring them back to life.
Reef Rescue on Nova.
Wednesday night at 9 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Ross, and I'll be taking you through your weather today. Looking behind me at the Academic Mall, we have some green grass and some sunny skies, and I'll be following us through the next couple days here, give or take. Current conditions, we have some partially cloudy skies, a temperature of 39 degrees, or winds north at 14 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.07 and falling. Going on to later tonight, those clear skies will continue with a low of 32 and our winds northwest at 11 miles per hour. And then going on to tomorrow, those partially cloudy skies will be back with a high of 43 degrees and our winds north at 15 miles per hour. Looking at our map of the UP, we have a mixture of clouds and sun across the UP here. So starting all the way here at Sault Ste. Marie, 43 and mostly cloudy. 41 and mostly cloudy over here at Manistee. Escanaba is at 45, mostly cloudy, and down south Menominee is going to be 55 and sunny. Moving to the other half of the UP, Iron Mountain is going to be 39 sunny, 42 and sunny over at Ironwood. All the way up at home, it's going to be 41 and mostly cloudy. And back here, one from Marquette, it's going to be 39 and partially cloudy. So take a look at your week ahead.
Thanks, Ross. Looking at the upcoming slate of games this weekend around WNMU sports, we have 3 different teams.
Going on to our weekend here on Sunday, it's going to be a high of 51, low of 34, and mostly cloudy. On Monday, we have a bit of mixture of rain and snow here with a high of 37, low of 29. And on Tuesday, we have a high of 34, low of 27, and partially cloudy. And now tossing it over to Devontae Stein with our sports update.
Thanks, Ross. Looking at this upcoming slate of games on this weekend on NMU Sports, we have 3 different teams closing out their regular season this weekend. The men's soccer team have a chance to conclude their regular season on a 5-game win streak right here in beautiful Marquette tomorrow, Saturday the 17th at 1 p.m. The women's lacrosse team will play its final home game this season this weekend with a doubleheader against Grand Valley State University, with the first game kicking off tonight at 6 p.m. and the second game will be Sunday the 18th at noon. The women's soccer team is also at home this weekend for their final regular season game as they take on Parkside on Sunday the 18th at 4 p.m. Good luck this weekend, Wildcats. First reported from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, 3-time NBA champion Dwayne Wade has purchased an ownership stake in the Utah Jazz. Wade joins majority owner and team governor Ryan Smith with plans to take an active role in the franchise. Some confusion circled around social media after this announcement, as some felt Wade was betraying the Miami Heat, the team where he spent almost the entirety of his career. When asked about it, Wade said, quote, "The respect I have for the Heat organization will not go anywhere. The love that I have for the Heat fans, that goes nowhere. This is about the next phase of my life as an investor, businessman, and entrepreneur," end quote. Yesterday, the NFL announced its first ever sportsbook partnerships as Caesars Entertainment, DraftKings, and FanDuel have reached agreements to become official sports betting partners of the NFL. CFO and Executive Vice President of NFL Partnerships, Renee Anderson, said during the announcement, quote, "Working closely with Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel, we will provide fans new and different ways of interacting and engaging with the sports that they love," end quote. In addition to becoming an official sports betting partner of the NFL, DraftKings also renewed its exclusive rights to retain its official daily fantasy partnership of the NFL. Caesars Entertainment will also retain its title solely as the league's official casino sponsor of the NFL. And that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you come for next week as we are on our final semester of the week.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.